These particles are called atoms. Today we will enter inside the atom. We will identify the components of the atom. Any atom consists of two parts. Any atom consists of two parts. The first part of the atom, the first part of the atom is called nucleus. So the first part of the atom is called nucleus. Right. What's inside the nucleus? Inside the nucleus, there are two components or two particles. These particles are positive, positive protons. We have positive protons. We will give them the symbol P plus. Okay, and it also contains neutral nitrons. Neutral nitrons. They have no charge. We will give them the symbol N0, N0, or we can say N plus minus. Okay, because they are neutral. They are neutrally charged. So the first component of the atom is the nucleus, and inside the nucleus we have two components or two small particles. These particles are positive protons and the neutral nitrons. Okay, right. So the charge of protons is the charge of proton is a is the charge of nitrons is neutral, are
neutral.
neutrally charged. So what will be the total charge of the nucleus? What will be the total charge of the nucleus? Huh?
Neutral
Huh?
electron.
Is positive. The total charge of the nucleus is positive. Okay, why? Because inside the nucleus we have positive protons and the neutral nitrons. So the neutral nitrons are not counted, are not counted because they are neutral. They have no charge. So count only the positive charge. So the total charge of the nucleus is the positive charge. Right. Now let's talk about the mass. The mass inside the atom. The mass of positive protons, the mass of positive proton equals 1. عندي هنا the mass of a positive proton equals 1. Right. Now, the mass of a neutral nitron equals also 1. So we talked about the components inside the nucleus. We have positive protons and neutral nitrons. And the protons are positively charged, nitrons are neutrally charged. So the total charge of the nucleus is positive. The mass of a proton, a positive proton, equals 1. And the mass of neutral nitron equals also 1. Remember this. Now let's move to talk about the second component or the second part of the atom. The second part of the atom is called energy levels. Energy levels. So we have two parts, or any atom consists of two parts. The first part is called nucleus, and the second part is called energy levels. Okay, right. What's inside the energy levels? Before we talk about what's inside the energy levels, the number of energy level is from 1 to 7. We have from 1 to 7 energy levels according to the atomic number. According to the atomic number, we may have one energy level, two energy levels, three, and so on until we reach 7 energy levels. So the largest atoms contain 7 energy levels. Smaller atoms may contain one, two, or three energy levels. Okay, so we have from 1 to 7 energy levels. Like, what's inside these energy levels? Inside these energy levels, we have electrons. We have electrons. يبقى electrons are are found inside the energy or on the energy levels. Electrons, electrons, we will give them the symbol E minus because they are negatively charged. Electrons are negatively
Negatively charged.
charged. Okay? Right. What about the mass of an electron? The mass of an electron equals almost zero. It equals almost zero. Okay? It equals about, as in page 22, it can equal 0.00054. We will write it 0.00054. Okay? So it is very small compared to the mass of the nucleus. If you divided 1 over this number, 1 over this number, it will give you about 1660. So the mass of a neutron or a proton is about 1600 times as the mass of an electron. This is the mass of an electron. So the mass of an electron can be neglected. If we compare the mass of
Neglected.
the electron to the mass of a neutron or a proton. So we can
The,
say uh,
the mass of an electron can be Mr.
neglected, neglected, يعني تهمل يعني. We can't count it. خلاص? We can. Okay? طيب. So the mass, we say that the mass of the atom, the mass of the atom is concentrated in the nucleus. Why? Who can answer? The mass of the
Because
atom. If I give you a question, give reason. The mass of the atom is concentrated in the nucleus. Why?
because the mass of electrons can be neglected.
One only or can answer. One student only can answer. Yes, Muhammad. Muhammad, yes. Right, can be neglected. Right, compared to what? Uh, have you another answer, Saud?
Because the mass of protons or neutrons is 1,600 times more than the mass of electrons.
Uh, let us don't say 1,600. Let us say that the mass of protons and the neutrons is very large. It's very large. Don't say the number, okay? Right. It's very large compared to the mass of electrons. The answer for this question because the mass of of protons and neutrons is very large compared to the mass of electrons. Okay, right. So as we said before, the the charge of the nucleus is positive. طيب what about the total